Force against understanding. That's a fabulous topic, let me tell you. um, this video is inspired by my insight when I was thinking about how some people tackle life today and how they express themselves when they, have a good advice for people, and on the other hand, where people just do what they do and lead by example. So recently, in this COVID-19 thing, there's been a lot of conspiracy theories, a lot of people saying negative things about the government and the religion and all these kind of things, how they're trying to enslave us and, etc., etc. And I was thinking there's a lot of people who are very negative and very against the government and all these kind of things. Don't get me wrong, some things have ground. But I also noticed a lot of people who are peacemakers, who are here, who understand and who are able to integrate and lead by example. So here's the thing, what I come up with, or two, is that people who are against something are creating things, are moving things by force, and that's usually replied to or responded to with force as well. So if I'm gonna tell you you're crazy and I'm gonna start screaming at you and tell you this is wrong, you're gonna slave me, blah 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 blah, and so on, you are gonna respond in kind and with force. That's very likely. This is just human nature, and this can be on the level of a government, a religion, or a big leader, or somebody on the street. It doesn't matter. If somebody is, comes to you with force, it's very hard to reply kindly. Usually we respond in kind. And on the other hand, you have people, and this is what I would like to encourage you to think about, who don't blame anybody for the circumstances and are not against the government or religion or this man in power or whatever. They just do their kind thing. They just teach people, they write books, they are peaceful, and they show with example how it's supposed to be led and done, in life. Think about it. So it's our natural inclination to respond in kind, and if we are going against something with force, we're probably going to get the same response. That's why people get banned from YouTube. That's why, people get imprisoned and all these kind of things. But on the other hand, you have somebody, and this is the important part, who is saying the same thing as the guy that's, against the government or against the whatever, but is not pointing out and is not doing it with force. He just leads by example. He shows how it's how you were supposed to be in this environment and how you should respond. And that's a big difference. And I would like to encourage you to think about all the conspiracy theorists and all the, negative things that go, happen around all the subjects, on earth. And on the other hand, people who are just leading by example. And until we learn to just lead by example and be peaceful and just show people how it's done, instead of being forceful and trying to convince somebody and being angry and against things, we are going to have issues. And I think this is a very, very good point, or, thoughts for you to think about. Because when we are trying to achieve something by force, we usually are met with force, and that's bad for everybody, But when we are just doing what we love, we write books, we are authentic, we do our things, we teach people by example, then good things can happen. And this has been recently inspired by a lot of people being banned from YouTube for, conspiracy theorists or, things like that, versus the people who are just doing what they do. And I would like to encourage you to be a benevolent force, to be a loving force, to not be angry or in negative emotions when you're trying to show somebody or something that you have a good point. Just lead and show, people around you with example, and that's the best way we can tackle the changes in our life. No matter what's going to happen, if we're going to be forceful, if we're going to be angry, if we're going to be negative, this is going to be negative for everybody, and this is the energy we're going to have to deal with eventually. But if we're going to be in a good place, we're going to be positive, we're going to look for good things in life and around us, then we will be able to, first of all, enjoy life personally, as we're going to be authentic and kind and nice. And the second of all, we're going to be very good influence for our environment. And if you are a leader, if in any kind, just your life, I encourage you to think about being positive, working for a kind, loving change. If you are just by example, there is no need for force. And I'd like to leave you with this thought in this week. And if you like what I do, pretty please share, comment, subscribe. Everybody on YouTube says that, so I'm no different. I really love sharing ideas, and there are plenty more to come when I'm done with all the infrastructure that I'm laying down now for me to be able to create and share content. And be peaceful. Life is short, I'll see you next week.